What's up everybody? I decided to make a new DVD collection video. I made a few of them back in the days that I did Dutch videos, but then I want to do it in English. Maybe not everybody will be interested in seeing DVD collections. I like to show it. There's probably even perhaps one person or a few that would like to see my collection. Also to show that I don't only own crappy horror movies and that my taste goes beyond that. And I will try to keep it quick and fast, so it won't be boring, and it's all going to be in one take, so I'll probably make a lot of screw-ups, but it doesn't matter. I can cut a little bit. So let's go. I'm going to start with some Blu-rays, because I don't have that many Blu-rays compared to DVDs, so let's go. 2001: Space Odyssey, Stanley Kubrick, classic sci-fi. It's a cool movie. An American Werewolf in London, classic horror comedy, very enjoyable. The Blu-ray collector's edition of Apocalypse Now by Francis Ford Coppola. It got the original version and the Redux version, and a very interesting documentary about the making of. Nice one. Bonnie and Clyde, the first perhaps movie of the new Hollywood movement. Yeah, actually pretty cool for such a pretty kind of old movie. The Bridge on the River Kwai by David Lean. Haven't seen this one yet. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Also haven't seen this one yet. Dead Snow, the Norwegian, I think, Nazi zombie movie from a couple of years ago. It's pretty cool. District 9, you'll probably know it. Really like this one. Dr. Zhivago, another David Lean epic. This one I did see. It's a long movie, but it's really cool, actually. Easy Rider, also another classic. Really enjoyed this one. The Evil Dead. Yeah, everybody knows this if you're watching my channel for the horror movies. Had to own it on Blu-ray. The Fall is a Spanish movie, I guess. I think. It's not that well known, I think, but it's really beautiful. It's yeah, you should check it out. Fargo by the Coen brothers. I'll also, when I come to my boxes, I'll have the whole Coen collection, but I had this one on Blu-ray earlier. The French Connection, haven't seen this one yet. Full Metal Jacket, also by Stanley Kubrick. Later on I have the, well, I can just show it you now. I have the Stanley Kubrick Blu-ray box. It got all the movies from Lolita, I guess. 7 movies on Blu-ray. Yeah, awesome collection. How the West Was Won, the epic American Western. Pretty cool with a great cast. Let the Right One In, the recent Swedish, I believe, vampire movie. Yeah, beautiful movie. Midnight Cowboy, another new Hollywood classic, I guess. Pretty good movie, yes. Night of the Creeps, one of my favorite guilty pleasures from the 80s, a fantastic horror comedy. The Omen, a classic horror movie. Had to own it on Blu-ray, I guess. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nicholson, 1975. Love this movie. Piranha 3D, the remake by, what's his name, the French guy. Guilty pleasure, like this one. Psycho, of course, the 50th anniversary edition. Raging Bull, also a very well known movie by Scorsese, very good. One of my favorite movies of all time, I think, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. If you haven't seen this one, check it out as soon as possible. It's really awesome. The Thing, the remake by John Carpenter, great horror movie. Taxi Driver, if you can see it, another one by Scorsese, perhaps his best movie, also really good. Unforgiven, the western by and with Clint Eastwood, also good movie. I guess most of the movies I own on Blu-ray are actually pretty good movies. Cape Fear, and I also have the original. This is a remake by Scorsese. Only saw this one, haven't seen this one, but yeah. Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, a pretty enjoyable sci-fi movie. The Magnificent Seven, haven't seen this one yet. Some of the Sergio Leone westerns for a few dollars more. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly and Once Upon a Time in the West are the ones that I own on Blu-ray. Also have Once Upon a Time in America by Sergio Leone. I actually like all of his movies. The super Hollywood classic Casablanca. Don't Look Now, the horror thriller movie, I guess, with Donald Sutherland. Very good. Martyrs, as told in my Disturbing Movies review, I really love this one. Those were the Blu-rays, so now I'll go on with the DVDs, and they're also kind of on alphabetically ordered. More or less, so let's go. The Abominable Dr. Vibes with Vincent Price, the classic horror comedy. The Abyss by James Cameron, haven't even seen this one yet. Fellini's Amarcord, great Italian movie. The documentary American Movie, if you're into movie making, independent movie making, check it out. Great documentary. Mario Bava's Bay of Blood, early slasher movie. Takeshi Miike's Audition. American Psycho, I'm not a big fan, everybody loves it, but I thought it was okay. April Fool's Day, slasher movie, okay. Anthropophagus, I did a review on this one, check it out, I think it's in English. Yeah, horrible movie, but funny. The Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie, if you've seen the series, if you like it, you'll love the movie also. Bad Taste, of course, by Peter Jackson. Brain Dead, of course, by Peter Jackson, one of my favorite movies. Battle Royale, pretty famous Japanese movie, pretty good also, of course. I've got the first three DVDs by the Angry Video Game Nerd. I'm a big fan, well, not very start, but probably since 2007 or something like that. I know he's working on the full-length movie now. Pretty curious to what that will turn out to be, but I'll check it out anyway. I'm a big fan. Black Sheep, a horror comedy from 2006, pretty cool. American Werewolf in London on DVD. Another Day in Paradise by Larry Clark, one of his more approachable movies, I guess, pretty cool. Beetlejuice, another classic, I guess, by Tim Burton, love this one. The documentary Best Worst Movie, it's the documentary about Troll 2. Very enjoyable documentary. A Better Tomorrow 1, 2 and 3 by John Woo. These are his old school Hong Kong action flicks, they're pretty cool. The Beyond on the crappy Vipco release. I also have a better release, will come at one point. Takeshi Miike's The Bird People in China, very beautiful movie. Very different than the movies that Takeshi Miike is actually known for, the ultra-violent stuff. Carrie, it's a classic by the Stephen King novel, great movie. The Rise of Leslie Vernon, what's his original title? Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Very original slasher movie from 2006, I believe. If you're into slasher movies and you haven't seen this one, check it out. It's very smart slasher movie. Beavis and Butter to America. Not a big fan of the series, but I love this movie. Blood Feast, the first splatter movie. It was also my first review. Hey! Blade, the trilogy, I only saw the first one, that was pretty cool. Should check out the other two one day, I guess. Black Christmas, the Canadian slasher, early slasher, 74 I believe. Very well made movie. The original, The Blob, haven't seen this one yet. Mario Bava's Blood and Black Laces, also haven't seen this one yet. Blood Diner, the unofficial sequel to Blood Feast. Very campy and cheesy horror comedy. Blue Velvet by David Lynch, great movie. I recently pre-ordered the recently released Blu-ray box by David Lynch. Should ship in any moment now, but it got the Blue Velvet and a lot more of his more well-known movies on Blu-ray in one box. That's nice. Bones with Snoop D-O Double Jizzle. Haven't even seen this shizzle yet. The Bride Who Wore Black. It's supposedly Tarantino-based stuff for Kill Bill on this one. It's an okay movie, but it has its flaws. Bully by Larry Clark, I really enjoyed this one. Burial Ground, another super bad zombie movie, so bad it's good actually. Chud, another guilty pleasure horror movie, very cheesy, very funny. The Burning, an early slasher movie from the 80s, actually one of the better early slasher movies. Das Kabinett des Dr. Caligari. It's 1920, it's one of the earlier horror movies. It's, yeah, for a movie that's almost 100 years old, pretty cool. Calvaire, an RC horror movie from our Belgian neighbors. Yeah. Candyman, excellent horror thriller. Cannibal Apocalypse, far from a good movie, but a very enjoyable Italian cannibal movie. Cannibal Ferox, the great ripoff of the Cannibal Holocaust. It's okay. Castle Freak by Stuart Gordon, who also did Reanimator. It's got some of the same cast. Pretty cool. Cheerleader Camp, one of my favorite guilty pleasure slasher movies from the 80s. Child's Play, everybody knows this one. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. I love the title. The movie is very low budget, but actually pretty cool. And of course, what movie better to show after Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things? The greatest movie of all time, Citizen Kane. The documentary, The Ballad over Citizen Kane, is just as interesting as the movie itself. It's a great special edition. Lucio Fulci's City of the Living Dead, famous Italian horror movie. Les Choristes, oh, my French isn't good. The chorus in English, beautiful French movie. Blood Gnome, it's still sealed. It's supposedly very bad, so I'll check it out one day. The Grindhouse release of The Beyond, much better than the Vipco release, of course. Classic Lucio Fulci horror. Clerks, very enjoyable independent movie. I showed the Blu-ray box by Stanley Kubrick. I'm Clockwork Orange on DVD, also fantastic movie. Cloverfield, really enjoyed this one. Creepshow, I did a review on Creepshow 2 that is very bad, and the first one is actually pretty cool. Daisies, it's a Czechoslovakian new wave movie about feminism, I guess, in a way. Kind of obscure, but and artsy, but pretty okay. Dawn of the Dead, classic horror movie, classic zombie movie. Love this one. Dawn of the Dead, the remake. For remakes, recent remakes, it is probably one of the better. Day of the Dead, the third George Romero zombie movie. In my opinion, pretty underrated. And it's a remake, but I haven't seen this one yet. My arm is getting a bit tired. The original The Day the Earth Stood Still, classic sci-fi. Still very enjoyable. Dead and Breakfast, very enjoyable, low budget horror comedy. Released a few years ago, I guess. Pretty cool. Dead and Buried, well, not really a zombie movie, but kind of. Very dark. Yeah. The Dead Next Door, the infamous no-budget zombie movie. It's hated on a lot, I kinda enjoy it. Takashi Miike's Dead or Alive trilogy. The first one is a classic, I guess, even perhaps only for the ending. The other two are also pretty okay. Dead Ringers, David Cronenberg, weird, enjoyable movie. Demons 2, I don't know where the first Demons is. This one is not as good as the first one. The Devils by Ken Russell, it's a very infamous English movie. Could spend a whole review on this one. Really love this one. The Devil's Backbone by Guillermo del Toro. I never know how to pronounce his name. It's in a way a ghost story, but it's more than that in my opinion. It's very well made movie. Diary of the Dead. After this one I didn't really catch the newer Romero zombie movies. I don't know how much he made after this one. This one was okay, I guess, but not compared to the original trilogy. Dogma, Kevin Smith movie, yeah, pretty cool. Don't Go Out in the Woods Tonight. I did a Dutch review on this one, but yeah, it's a really bad slash movie. Don't Look in the Basement, a very low budget horror movie, but with actually a lot of potential. Kind of enjoyed this one. The original Dracula, well, everybody knows this one. Oh, yo, The Driller Killer, one of the infamous video nasties. Haven't even seen this one yet. Dumb and Dumber, love this one. One of my favorite comedies, I guess. Eaten Alive, haven't seen this one. Ebola Syndrome, one of the great Hong Kong Category 3 movies. This is messed up, man. This is it's actually pretty fun movie to watch in a twisted way. El Mariachi shows you how to make a low budget movie with no experience whatsoever. Great movie. David Lynch's Elephant Man, very depressing movie, but also beautiful in a way. The Dentist, a pretty forgettable horror movie. Death Proof, I'm a big Tarantino fan, but this is probably my least favorite of his movies. The original Dead Race with Sylvester Stallone, very funny. I don't know what it is, action, horror, it's just crazy, man. One of my favorite zombie movies, or maybe favorite movies, De la Mort, also known as Cemetery Man. by the same director who did Della Morte Della Deliria, or Stage Fright, or is known for a couple of names. Not as impressive as Della Morte Della Deliverance, also a personal favorite. Really powerful movie, in my opinion. Here it is, Demons. It's a classic Italian splatter movie. It's so much fun. Ed Wood by Tim Burton. Kind of an Ed Wood fan, as in that I like his Bride of the Monster and Glen of Glenda and Plan 9, of course. And yes, those are the movies covered in this movie. Love this one. Oh yes, of course. Well, here is the Ed Wood collection that got the movies that I just named. Also including a documentary about Ed Wood's legendary bad movie producer and director. Yeah, nice one. Eraserhead by David Lynch. We'll also be getting this on Blu-ray anytime soon. Evil Aliens, a British splatter comedy, pretty enjoyable. Existence, or Existence, I don't know how to pronounce it, with David Cronenberg. It's still sealed actually. Haven't seen this one in a long time. I thought it was pretty good. The Evil Dead on DVD. The Evil Dead 2 on DVD. It's probably my favorite in the Evil Dead series. And Army of Darkness, of course. You know, should I put this on the... Yeah, fuck that shit. Evil Ed, a Swedish horror comedy. It's pretty cool. The Exorcist classic. Haven't seen this one in a long time, but still own it on DVD. Faster Pussycat, Kill, Kill. Oh, it's another... I don't know if I should call it guilty pleasure. It's just very enjoyable, low budgetness, I guess. Fido. Recent zombie movie. Well, recent is already 2006, I guess, but it did have an original twist on the zombie genre. A Fistful of Dollars. That was one of the Sergio Leone movies that I don't own on Blu-ray yet. Same with Fistful of Dynamite. But like I said, I love all of his movies. They're all great. Flash Eater. I did a review on this in Dutch. It's okay. Not really, actually. The Fly. I also have a great box. Oh great, yeah. With all the movies, also the originals. This is the remake by Cronenberg, but I love this one. Oh, for a few dollars more on DVD. 4 Rooms. It's a comedy by 4 directors, also including Tarantino and Rodriguez. All doing 1/4 of the movie. Love this one, really cool. Frankenhooker, did a Dutch review on this, I guess. Also guilty pleasure. The Original Frankenstein. Yeah, can't get more classic than this, I guess. Freaks by Todd Browning, the director also did the original Dracula. Haven't seen this one yet. Freddy vs. Jason, and this is not really alphabetically ordered, but well, I like this one, actually. And here I have the 1, 2, 3, yeah. Well, these are the Friday the 13th 1 through part 8. Haven't got Jason Goes to Hell or Jason X in Space. Not a big fan of those anyways. Those are most of these I enjoy. The first 4 are probably the best, and the 6th one I really liked. But they're all fun slashers. The Frighteners, well, the first Peter Jackson Hollywood movie, I believe. It's horror fun for the family, I guess. Fright Night, the 80s vampire comedy. It's recently been remade, and the remake was actually pretty enjoyable, I think. From Dusk Till Dawn, everybody knows this probably. Like this one very much. Forgotten Silver, probably Peter Jackson's least known movie, do I say it correctly like that? It's a mockumentary about, wow, Google this man, this really worth checking out. It's, oh I love this one. Fudo by Takashi Miike, not, yeah, perhaps one, I don't know if it's that well known, but it's actually one of the cooler Miike movies in my opinion. Ghost Dog, or The Way of the Samurai, haven't even seen this one yet. Mostly I just bought this because RZA from, you know, Wu-Tang did the soundtrack, and I really enjoy the soundtrack, so maybe the movie is also worth checking out. Ghostbusters 1 and 2, yeah, they're classics, I think, at least the first one is. Ghost House, guilty pleasure horror movie from Italy. Oh, and of course The Good, the Bad and the Ugly on DVD. The Gore Girls by, what's his name, Herschel Gordon Lewis, who also did Blood Feast. Nah. Takashi Miike's Gozu, Perhaps my favorite. Mickey movies, very weird, very, yeah, crazy. Graduation Day, an underrated slasher in my opinion, pretty entertaining. The Gruesome Twosome, also by Herschel Gordon Lewis. Haven't even seen this one yet. Kinda gave up on Lewis after the Gorgor Girl, but maybe it's okay. Some Halloween movies. The first one on DVD, this is the 25th anniversary edition. Oh, that's a classic. I got the second one, the third, the fourth, the fifth and the sixth. But the sixth one I haven't even seen, because after the fifth one I was like, geez man, what are they doing with this? It really got worse and worse after part 4, or starting with part 4 I guess. Also haven't seen Season of the Witch, the third part. Happiness, not an easy movie to watch, but yeah, it's pretty intense in a way, but it's a good movie. Hard Boiled by John Woo, perhaps his biggest Hong Kong action flick. You know, it's crazy man, it's just guns and it's crazy man, it's very cool. Happy Birthday to Me, another 80s slasher, pretty cool. Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, yeah, love this comedy. Heavenly Creatures by Peter Jackson, very well made movie. Based on a true story, it's actually a pretty harsh story. Hell of the Living Dead, I also did a review on this, in English I believe, yeah. With my man Jeffrey in the review also. Hell Night, another slasher movie. The original Hellraiser, the first one, I got a box that goes up till part 7 I guess, but I also had this one individually on DVD. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. It's a very bleak horror movie, or thriller. Yeah. The Hills Have Eyes, the remake. Also when it comes to remakes, yeah, really enjoyed this one. The original one by Wes Craven is also good, but like production wise the remake is better, but it's still very enjoyable. Hot Fuzz, also love this movie. Big fan of Edgar Wright and the team of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Very much looking forward to the third installment of the trilogy that started with what's his name, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and now the next one they're working on, The World's End, I believe. Yeah, I'm ready for it. House, a cheap horror comedy from the 80s. Okay. House of a Thousand Corpses by Rob Zombie. Not a big fan of this one actually. House on Haunted Hill. It's the colored edition. This one, I believe. Yeah. It's Vincent Price. It's fun. House by the Cemetery by Lucio Fulci. Yeah. Actually, one of my favorite Fulci movies. The House of Usher by Roger Corman. One of the many collaborations he did with Vincent Price based on Edgar Allan Poe stories or poems. This is perhaps the more famous one, I guess. It's pretty entertaining. And I do say pretty a lot, but it's just so pretty. House on the Edge of the Park. Kinda after the success of Last House on the Left, I guess. The title is even kind of similar. Yeah, and it got David Hess also in this one. It's okay, this one. It's pretty harsh. The House on Sorority Row, another slasher from the 80s, also in my opinion pretty underrated, because it's one of my more preferred slashers from the 80s, I guess. Well, it says Monster, but I explained it in the review. Was it in Dutch, that one? I can't even remember. But it's Humanoid from the Deep, 80s guilty pleasure, one of my favorites. Hunter's Blood, it's a poor man's version of The Deliverance, but it's pretty okay. Takashi Miike's perhaps most famous movie or most infamous movie, Itchy the Killer. I personally really like this one. Another guilty pleasure, I Drink Your Blood. I did a review on this. I can't remember which, probably in Dutch. That's kind of a shame. Inferno, I know I did this one in English recently. Oh, Inferno, I have it 2 times on DVD. That's nice. By Dario Argento, one of my favorite Argento movies, I guess. Inglourious Basterds. Like I said, I'm a big Tarantino fan. This is probably my favorite movie by him. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. This is the 70s version with Donald Sutherland. Isn't he in this movie? Yeah. Like this one. Intruder, also a very underrated late 80s slasher. It's very innovative in its camera work and in its killing. It's pretty gory also. Irreversible, discussed in my disturbing movies reviews. Yeah, it's Alive, Larry Cohen horror movie. It's cheap, it's okay. Takashi Miike's The Happiness of the Katakuris is this weird musical with zombies and clay animation, and it doesn't make sense whatsoever, but it's very enjoyable. Jacob's Ladder, another personal favorite. If you haven't seen or even heard about this movie, check it out, it's really worth it. Jaws, the classic summer blockbuster, is still very enjoyable. Oh, Ken Park. Yeah, I just bought it because I own most of the Larry Clark movies DVD. Yeah, just don't go watch this movie with your girlfriend, because you're going to have a bad time. And also by Larry Clark, of course, Kids, what he's most famous for, I guess. I haven't even seen this one in a while, so I don't know if I would still enjoy it, because I really loved it the first time I saw it. Kind of weird to say about this movie, I guess, but yeah, you should check it out another time. The Killer by John Woo. Probably my favorite of his Hong Kong action flicks. This one is crazy, man. Love this one. The Killing by Stanley Kubrick. It's one of his earlier movies. Also not that well known, I guess. But it's actually very well made. Great script and very innovative for its time, I guess. Killing Zoe. Pretty overrated in my opinion. Not really a big fan of this one. Lady Snowblood and its sequel. Haven't even seen the sequel. Like they say, yeah, it's in Dutch, but it's like, whoa, this is the inspiration for Tarantino's Kill Bill. That's how they advertise stuff. Of course, that's how I know about this movie. But it's actually pretty cool, or at least the Lady Snowblood, the first part. Haven't seen the second one. Land of the Dead, the fourth part in George Romero's zombie series. Also still pretty cool. Last Cannibal World, isn't this ook by Ruggero Deodato? Yes, it is, but I haven't seen this one yet. Oh, Last House on the Left, as discussed in my disturbing movies video. Yeah, you know, Let Sleeping Corpses Die. It's known in the US like this, I think. In UK it's The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. Early zombie movie. It's actually very cool. Lola Rent. It's a German movie, and yeah, I don't know if it's that well known, but in my opinion, it should be. It's a really awesome movie. Check it out if you want to see an awesome movie. Lost Highway by David Lynch. Will also be getting this one on Blu-ray. Perhaps my favorite. I hope I don't say that by every David Lynch movie. So perhaps my favorite David Lynch movie. I really like this one. The Lovely Bones by Peter Jackson. It's hated on a lot. Probably because I believe it's based on a book. Not even sure about that. And it's not like the book, blah blah blah. But as a standalone movie, it's pretty entertaining. Madman is this low-budget, crappy slash movie from the early 80s. It's actually pretty funny. Magnolia. Haven't seen this one. Every time I want to put on this movie, I'm like, ah, oh, damn man, this movie runs for a million hours or something like that. Now I think it's like 3 hours. But I should check it out any time now. The movie that started the cannibal craze, Man from Deep River. Yeah, it's more like a surviving in the wilderness movie than it is a cannibal movie, but yeah, you know how that goes. Maniac Cop, it got Bruce Campbell in it, so that's already pretty awesome. But it's a cool movie. The Mask of the Red Dead, another collaboration with Corman and Vincent Price based on the Edgar Allan Poe story, or Poe, I'm not familiar with that. Pretty cool. The only movie that Stephen King himself directed, Maximum Overdrive. It's a shame because I'm not really a big fan of this one. The extraordinary deluxe edition of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I love the Holy Grail. This release is kind of overrated because most of the extras are just not really that spectacular, but the movie is awesome. Mother's Day. I reviewed this one in English. Check it out if you like. It's on my channel. What's met die kutklokken? The original The Mummy with the Boris Karloff. I haven't even seen this one yet. Mulholland Drive by David Lynch also will be replaced on Blu-ray soon. I've only seen this one once. Yeah, should definitely check it out the second time. My Bloody Valentine, I believe it's also been remade. Haven't seen that one. Also, this is the very cut version because I bought this on DVD before Lionsgate, I believe, released the uncut version after more than 20 years. Even 30 years perhaps. What's that, man? Yeah, nice one, brother. The Naked Gun trilogy. Don't know if I'm a big fan, but at least in this movie I love Leslie Nielsen. He's great, I love these movies. Naked Lunch by David Cronenberg, should definitely check this out another time because I've only seen it once and it's weird as shit. So I should definitely see it a second time because I guess I enjoyed it, but I'm not sure anymore. Night of the Demons, another guilty pleasure horror movie from the 80s. Yeah, it's pretty entertaining. Microcosmos, well, that's something different. It's a French, well, I guess documentary, nature documentary, but it plays as a feature film. It's just about insects. It's a movie about insects. Nice. Misery, based on the Stephen King novel. It's also one of my personal favorites, I guess. Very powerful movie. Napoleon Dynamite, I love this one. It's really one of my favorite movies. I've tried to check out the animated series, but I'm not a big fan. It doesn't compare to the movie. The New York Ripper is a giallo movie, if I pronounce that right, by Lucio Fulci. It's okay, it's very nasty, it's okay. Night of the Creeps, this is a bootleg version because the Blu-ray version that I have, the release isn't even that old. I bought this one before it was properly released on DVD or Blu-ray whatsoever. The Night of the Living Dead, classic, perhaps the most classic zombie movie ever made. It's the one that started it all. This is the one that started it all in color. And this is the one that started it all but then remade in 1990 by Tom Savini. It's a pretty cool, yeah, it's actually a pretty cool zombie movie. Night Train Murders, it's exactly the same as Last House on the Left, but then it's an Italian production and it takes place on a train. But it's a nasty film, yeah. Nightmare City, isn't this also an Umberto Lenzi? Yes, movie. It's a crazy zombie movie. It's pretty crazy. Nightmare Concert, or it's also known as Cat in the Brain, or yeah, it's by Lucio Fulci. Didn't really enjoy this one. The Stuff by Larry Cohen, who also did It's Alive. It's enjoyable. It's fun. Oh, I see. We got to the series of the B-movie DVD collection. There were some cheap buys on Amazon. Return to Horror High. Haven't even seen this one yet. This is and another one by this was released. Slugs by the guy who also did Pieces. It should work perfectly as a double feature. Pieces and Slugs. They're both crazy horror movies. Oh, Nightmare in a Damaged Brain, or Nightmare, or how it's called. Fuck that shit. I still don't know if I have the uncut version because I've googled my ass off to see where and how this movie is released in its most uncut form. But even in the end, it's not really worth it because it's a pretty shitty movie. It's a Nightmare on Elm Street in a 2-disc Ken edition. Well, yeah, you know the movie. I have the whole series. The first one's obviously my favorite, probably everyone's favorite. But I actually also enjoy all the sequels. There's not really a real stinker in it, I guess. Never Sleep Again, the Elm Street Legacy. If you're a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, the series, you should definitely own this one on DVD. It's a recently released documentary, and it's the ultimate guide to the Nightmare on Elm Street. Definitely check it out. It's got millions of hours of extras. Well, maybe not million, but really at least like 8 hours or stuff like that. It's really the definitive guide to a Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, that's something completely different. North by Northwest by Alfred Hitchcock. Perhaps his biggest Hitchcock movie. It's really enjoyable. Nosferatu. I'm ashamed to say that I own this one on DVD for years, but still I've never seen it. You should really check this one out. The Omen. I also have this on Blu-ray, but I first owned it on DVD. Also own this one on Blu-ray. Once Upon a Time in America. Fantastic, epic gangster crime story by Sergio Leone. Also own this one on Blu-ray, Once Upon a Time in the West. Opera by Dario Argento, also yeah, one of the more enjoyable Argento movies in my opinion. Directed also by Guillermo del Toro, like The Devil's Backbone. They worked pretty good together, Pan's Labyrinth and The Devil's Backbone, because they both have like these layers. I guess you got the horror and the fantasy, but also just the human side of the story. Yeah, this one's also a great movie. Parents, in my 30-day horror challenge videos, one day I talked about this one as it being a not really known movie, but should have been, because it's an awesome, very black comedy horror movie. Yeah. Peeping Tom, the movie that ended Michael Powell's career, a great English filmmaker. Released in 1960, was far ahead of his time, the same year as Psycho. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Stephen King's, it says so, Stephen King's Pet Sematary, based on a novel by him, I guess. It's okay. Argento's Phenomena, also an enjoyable Argento flick. Yeah. And it got a young, what's her name in it? Jennifer Connelly. Nice one. Pieces! A crappy release, and Pieces, the release by Grindhouse. I'll be doing a full-length review on this one, and I hope that it will be uploaded soon. The People Under the Stairs by Wes Craven, enjoyable little horror flick in my opinion. Rodriguez half in the Grindhouse project together with Tarantino. The other part is of course Death Proof, but this one I prefer much more. Very awesome movie. Oh, Plan 9 from Outer Space, the original by Ed Wood, colored edition, because why not? Poltergeist, the classic Tobe Hooper and Steven Spielberg collaboration. Yeah, it's a nice movie. Portrait of Hell, I recently saw this. It's an obscure Japanese movie, but the story is very interesting. So yeah. Predator. Yeah, man. If you want to be a cool guy, you should own this on DVD, I guess. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Predator, awesome movie. Primutos der gefallene Engel is the German splatter movie. I've discussed it in some of my reviews already, I guess. Oh man, it's so bad. Yeah. Prince of Darkness by John Carpenter. Was okay, I guess, but not a big fan of this one. It was okay. Psycho on DVD, but I got the 50th anniversary edition on Blu-ray, so yeah. Rashomon by Kurosawa. Yeah, it's a famous movie if you're into world art cinema, but it's also still pretty enjoyable on its own. Another based on Edgar Allan Poe movie by Roger Corman. The cast is great. It got Vincent Price, Peter Lorre, Boris Karloff. This is probably the most enjoyable one in the series. Reanimator, personal favorite when it comes to horror comedies. It's the perfect example of a horror comedy. Beyond the Reanimator, that's actually the second sequel. The first sequel is Bride of Reanimator, not that great. Probably prefer even this one, but none of these two compared to the original first Reanimator. Wreck, the Spanish found footage horror movie. Pretty scary, actually, to be honest. Return of the Living Dead. I saw that they recently released this one on Blu-ray as well, so I'll probably be upgrading it. Yeah, classic horror comedy zombie movie. Return of the Living Dead Part 2. It's been criticized a lot, I guess, but if you just take it for what it is, a crappy, well, just a cheap horror comedy, I think it's actually pretty enjoyable. And Return of the Living Dead 3. I think some people don't like this because it's totally different than the first two, but it's even perhaps my favorite one in the series. Haven't seen 4 or 5 or a million sequels that came after, but I believe they're not really worth watching at all. This one is really cool. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is a horror musical, I guess. It's pretty funny, and Meatloaf is in it, and there's songs and there's craziness, and it's rather enjoyable. Rosemary's Baby is Polanski's famous horror movie. It's very slow, but actually kind of worth it. It's only the acting and storytelling is very well made. Rote Sonne is a German movie that I don't even really have a reason for why I own it. Well, I do have it. I'll explain it when I have another movie to explain why I own it. Haven't even seen this one yet. Alejandro Jodorowsky's Santa Sangre. I also covered this one in my highly criticized Jodorowsky reviews. I don't know why everybody's hating on that review, but yeah, you can check it out. I think that those are my first reviews that I did in English, so show some hate there. Satan Tango, I don't know if I pronounce it right, it's Hungarian. Satan's Tango is the English title. It's a movie that runs for 7 hours. And I usually joke about this when referring to watching movies. Yeah, we should watch Satan Tango. I've seen it once. It took me a whole Sunday, but I do want to check it out again because it's worth it in the end. It's a beautiful movie. Save the Green Planet. It's a South Korean movie, if I'm not mistaken. It's crazy. You can't really place it in a certain genre. It got everything. It's pretty cool. Saw is also the only movie in the whole series that I own on DVD. I only saw the first two. Love this one. The sequels, I think they kind of damaged the legacy of the original. Could have really go on and become a classic, but I think all the million sequels kind of destroyed that image. But still, this one is awesome. Scream, love this one. Also one of my favorites. Well, not even slash movies, horror movies, just one of my favorite movies. Really love this one. Also got the trilogy box to include the second and third part. I've seen the fourth part in the cinemas, and I thought it was pretty cool. Probably the best sequel since the original movie. A Serbian film, also discussed in my the third part, I guess, of my disturbing movies reviews. Yeah. Like I say there, I kind of enjoyed this one. Don't know if that makes me a pervert or whatever, but it's a powerful movie. The Serpent and the Rainbow by Wes Craven is a very original zombie movie because it really goes back to the Haiti voodoo kind of stuff that originally inspired the whole zombie genre. Yeah, pretty cool. Kurosawa's masterpiece, Seven Samurais. It also runs for like 4 hours, but in the end it's really worth it. It's like, yeah, it's an awesome movie. Shaun of the Dead, and like I said with Hot Fuzz, I love the collaboration of the director Edgar Wright and the two main actors. Love this one. The Shining, but I also have this one on Blu-ray. Silent Night, Deadly Night, and it's a sequel. I haven't seen the sequel because I heard it really bad. The Silent Night, Deadly Night, it's a fun slasher, Christmas slasher. Silent Night, Bloody Night, but that's something totally different. Can't even remember much about this one, except for that it was kind of enjoyable. Very low budget. Well, you can't even, yeah. Okay. The Sleepaway Camp trilogy, another guilty pleasure. The first one it really plays as a mean slasher. The two sequels there are more fun horror comedies that make fun of the genre more than trying to make a straight up slasher horror movie. Pretty enjoyable. Slither, a more recent, well, when I say recent I mean like 2006 or something like that. Horror movie, yeah, pretty cool. The Slumber Party Massacres 1, 2 and 3. I did a review on the second one because that's my favorite one in the series, but it's in Dutch, I guess. Guilty pleasures slasher movies. And Sorority House Massacre 2. I haven't even got the first one. I don't even believe that I've seen the first one. I did a review on this one as well, with Peter and Jeffrey in it as well. Check it out if you can find it on my channel. Spider Baby, or The Maddest Story Ever Told, I believe. It's a little known, I think. Man, the sun is really shining. I believe it's actually summer in the Netherlands. Jeez, I'm going to fix that, you know what? It's better, I guess. Well, not really. But anyway, yeah. Spoilers! And I can finally be proud because it's a Dutch movie. Perhaps the only one that I own. It's known as The Vanishing in the US. I guess it's also remade as The Vanishing, but I believe that's a pretty crappy movie. Check this out, get some subtitles, and it's a great movie, this one. Summer of Fear, a made-for-TV movie by Wes Craven. Nothing special. Student Bodies, it is like the original scary movie. This movie spoofed good clock. This movie spoofed the slasher genre when it was like 1 or 2 years old. Can be annoying, the movie, but overall it's pretty entertaining. Story of Ricky, it's a classic cult kind of movie. Even if I Don't tell anything about it. Just check it out if you haven't seen it. You'll laugh your ass off. Strange Circus and Strange Indeed. It's by the guy who also, I wouldn't know his name. He also did Suicide Club, I believe, and some other crazy Japanese stuff. Very weird and twisted movie, but also beautiful in a way, in a twisted way, I guess. A somewhat recent movie by Takashi Miike is 2009, I believe. Sukiyaki Western Django. He takes the action style of Japanese movies with the Western American movies, and it's actually pretty cool, this one. Yeah, it is. I also got the 2-disc edition. Superbad, it's one of the greatest comedies released in recent years. Really love this one. The Thing, showed in the beginning of the video, also own it on Blu-ray. And again, still own it on Blu-ray. Suspiria by Dario Argento, perhaps his magnum opus, arguably. But yeah, it's a very nice movie. Swan Thing by Wes Craven. Haven't even seen this one. I've owned this movie on DVD for years now, but yeah. Because who wants to watch Swan Thing? Tales of Terror, another Roger Corman production based on Edgar Allan Poe stories. Yeah, this one is also pretty cool. It's an anthology style, it's like 3 short stories. The Tenant by Mr. Polanski, psychological horror, kind of slow, but it's worthwhile. Shadows, this is a Dutch release by, it's Tenebrae by Dario Argento, don't know how to pronounce Tenebrae. Maybe that's why they call it Shadows. But probably not. The Terminator, I'm not a big fan of the series. I'm a fan of the series because the second part, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, is probably, I guess it's my favorite action movie of all time. One of my favorite movies of all time in general. Not a big fan of the third, but I wanted to have the complete series. But I don't even own a Salvation. Isn't that the fourth part? I've seen it in cinemas. It was, I prefer it over the third part, but the second part is by far my favorite. Tetsuo, the Iron Man, right? It's this weird, the movie runs for like 1 hour or something like that. It's Japanese weirdness. There's no dialogue, or almost no dialogue. It's crazy, man. Check it out. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is like a Dutch double disc, 2-disc release. I also have the ultimate 3-disc release. So I have 5 discs of the original. Yeah, it's classic. There's not much I can say about this one. Love this one. I've got the sequel. It's the first sequel, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It's okay. Leatherface is the third part. I believe this also was victim of bad, how do you say it? I mean, there's a lot of stuff cut out. This movie could have been like a splatter classic, I think, but the version that's now out there it's still enjoyable, I would say, but not as good as it could have been. The fourth part is just crazy. It makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah. Then you have the remake. I really enjoy the remake. And then the sequel to the original, or the remake, I guess, the beginning. Totally unnecessary. Yeah, not a big fan of this one. The Tomb of oh man, I never know how to pronounce the name. Probably the last one that I show of the Edgar Allan Poe adaptations by Roger Corman. Yeah, cool. The Toxic Avenger, the big hit by Troma. It's trashy as hell. It's messed up shit, but it's just turn off your brain and enjoy the movie. I got the Tremors box. I've only seen the first and half of the second part. But they didn't even sell it. It's just the first part, so I bought this box. Love the original, the first Tremors. Troll and Troll 2. I bought this one for Troll 2, obviously. It's the worst movie ever made. Actually, Troll, the first part, is much worse than Troll 2, in my opinion. But yeah. 2001 Maniacs. It's sort of a remake of Herschel Gordon Levitt's 2000 Maniacs. Probably here also somewhere. Robert Englund is in this one. It's an enjoyable movie. Twin Peaks, Fire Walk With Me. The movie made after they cancelled Twin Peaks after the second season. I think the Twin Peaks fan base is kind of divided whether or not they like this movie. I really love this one. I love Twin Peaks, the series. I really love this movie. I believe I say it with every David Lynch movie, but this is probably my favorite David Lynch movie. Two Evil Eyes, the movie made by George Romero and Dario Argento. but I haven't seen this one yet. Here it is, 2000 Maniacs by Herschel Gordon Lewis. It's like Blood Feast, but even more crazy, and yeah, it's fun. Undead, I believe it is an Australian horror comedy movie. Pretty cool. Pretty worth it. Check it out. The Untold Story by Herman Yao, the same guy who did Ebola Syndrome. This is also, yeah, well, the ending it's infamous. I have it in the classic horror scenes on my channel. It's the last scene, or one of the last scenes from this movie. Pretty harsh movie. Valerie and Her Week of Wonders. It's another Czechoslovakian new wave movie. It's a surreal fairy tale with horror elements in it. But in the end it's a coming of age story about this young girl, I guess, who loses her innocence. Blah 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 blah. But I love this movie. It's very, yeah, it's great. Oh well, this is not really supposed to be here, I guess, but I'll show it anyway. These are my boys from Van Kwaad tot Erger, a Dutch hip-hop group from Breda, the city where I live. And a friend of mine made a documentary about them, and it's awesome. You probably no way to ever see it, but yeah, I just wanted to show it anyways. Versus is a Japanese action zombie martial arts everything movie. It's this low budget production, but with the low budget they made, but they handled it very well with the low budget because it looks great. A very enjoyable movie. The Video Dead, another no budget zombie flick. It's a bootleg version. The quality is crap. The movie also a bit, but it's still rather enjoyable. David Cronenberg's Videodrome. Haven't seen this one in a while, should check it out again. It's, I believe I really enjoyed it the first time I saw it. Another documentary that I can really recommend. It's what's its called? Video Nasty. It's the definitive guide. That's the, yeah, it's got a whole subtitle. It's a documentary about the video nasties in the early 80s in England, in the UK. It got all the movies, all the trailers, all extra information about it. It's really interesting about a piece of movie history. Who can kill a child? Well, I know the main characters in this movie can. Because, well, yeah, it's a Spanish, I believe, it's 70s horror flicks, very Euro horror. It's okay, it's enjoyable. The original Wolfman, but I still haven't even seen this one. Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein, dark comedy. In the beginning, I wasn't even sure if it was a comedy, but it's very funny. Zebra Man by Takeshi Miike, his superhero comedy. I once put it on, but I don't know, it didn't really intrigue me that much. Still have to finish it one day, but not today. Lucio Fulci's Zombie, it's classic, it's a well-made zombie movie. Zombie 3, it's a less well-made zombie movie with Lucio Fulci, but some other guys also helped on it. It was like crazy production, don't know the full story off the top of my head, but it's not as good as Zombie. And Zombie Holocaust, of course. It's like the inevitable crossover between the zombie and the cannibal genre in Italy. It's it's okay. And that brings us to the DVD boxes. I guess I've been through the regular DVDs. I guess the Jodorowsky box. I'm not going to unpack all of these boxes. That would be crazy. I've fully covered this one in my Jodorowsky reviews. The Hellraiser box, they got the first seven parts. I don't know why. I mean, the 7th and the 8th part were released, I believe, back to back in 2005, but I didn't include the 8th part. I've also only seen the 2nd part. That was pretty crazy. The Hitchcock collection, or rather a Hitchcock collection. Because more of his latter movies in it, as you can probably see here. I haven't seen all of these. The Powell and Pressburger collection, it's got, I mentioned Michael Powell earlier with Peeping Tom. These were the movies they made more in the 40s, I guess. It contains like 11 movies. Also most of their most well-known, The Lone Wolf and Cub collection, the complete series, all 6 movies, and also the US cut Shogun Assassin. These are classic 70s samurai flicks. Pretty cool. This is the Vengeance trilogy, probably best known for Old Boy, but also Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance and Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. Old Boy is is my favorite in the series, probably everyone's favorite in the series. But they're all three are solid thriller movies. I've got the two Mario Bava collections. Mario Bava, of course, being the Italian master of horror, I guess you could name it. But this movie doesn't even, of these collections, not only include horror movies, it's also some weird comedies and westerns. Haven't seen all of these, but it's, yeah, I like to have these collections at least. The Coffin Joe collection, I recently got this from Amazon, it was pretty cheap. It got the first two, you know, like the At Midnight I Took Your Soul and This Night I Will Possess Your Corpse. Because why not? I basically bought it for those two because I really wanted to see those. Still haven't got around to check those out. And yeah, there's some other crazy stuff on this. The Bruce Campbell collection, it got 4 Bruce Campbell movies in it. The more recent movies that he starred in. Bubba Hotep is kind of a classic. My Name is Bruce, I enjoyed much. Which ones were? Oh yeah, The Man with the Screaming Brain was enjoyable. Alien Apocalypse, haven't seen that one yet. The Children of the Corn original trilogy, I've only seen the first two. I really like the original Children of the Corn. The sequel was pretty bad, so I'm kind of scared to see the third part. The Three Color trilogy by Krzysztof Kieslowski, if I pronounce that name right. I've only seen Red and Blue. White I have to check out one day. But Blue was amazing. Red also, I really love those two movies. I'm curious to White, but I believe it's kind of different in tone. But very beautiful movies these. I have the Jurassic Park, I always call the Ultimate trilogy on Blu-ray. I really love Jurassic Park the original. Oh, I love it. It looks great on Blu-ray. It got a whole new documentaries in this box. It's a nice buy, this one. This was also like a very cheap deal on Amazon. It's the complete original Planet of the Apes series, all 5 movies on Blu-ray, and I still haven't even seen one of them. I mean, yeah, I should actually. The Godfather, the complete series on Blu-ray, nice box. Yeah, I've actually seen this one. For a change, love The Godfather, yeah. Yet another cheap buy on Amazon, the complete Dirty Harry collection on Blu-ray. Also have only yet seen the first one, but that's a great movie. I believe they're all pretty good from what I've read, so I should check those out as well. Twin Peaks, the definitive gold box edition. It got the 2 seasons plus a lot of extras, documentaries. I love Twin Peaks. I really love it. The Alien Quadrilogy. It's all movies have like the 1 disc edition. It's a shame. I know there's also like an ultimate box. Yeah, I love the Alien movies. Perhaps my favorite series of all time. Well, at least comedies. Arrested Development. And I can never recommend it because I'm like, well, you should at least see like 3, 4, 5 episodes before you can even start to understand the humor in Arrested Development. It's such a smart series. I really love it. The Aqua Teen Hunger Force box set, I believe it got the 4 DVDs, but I think it covers the first 3 seasons. Around the time that they made the movie, they really changed the tone of the series, and I don't really enjoy it much after that. So, but this is a great box for the part of Aqua Teen Hunger Force that I really enjoy. Yeah, Badass Boy James Dean collection. It's cool if you can have a whole filmography in just one box, 3 movies. I've only seen Rebel Without a Cause. Really enjoyed that one. Should definitely check out the other two. Yeah, it was a nice box. Another badass Humphrey Bogart. There are 4 of his perhaps best known movies on it. As you can see here, I've only seen Casablanca, and I'm just waiting for being in the right mood to watch some other Humphrey Bogart stuff. Another comedy series that everybody should check out. I got the 2 seasons of Flight of the Conchords. Big fan. After seeing every episode 5 times already, I'll still laugh my ass off if you haven't heard of it, check it out. Flight of the Conchords. Well, I'm not a big fan of series, I just own a few of them. Not a series that I can really recommend that I really love. Carnival. It's only 2 seasons, and there's so much in it, more than meets the eye. I would say the production value is top notch. It's a fantastic series. And of course, when talking about series, The Sopranos. This looks kind of sad that I only have a few parts because I collected the whole series with my girlfriend, with my then girlfriend. But when we broke up, we also broke up the Sopranos, and I haven't gotten around to fully get the whole series. But Sopranos is top notch. I mean, if you should check out one more series in your life and you haven't seen Sopranos, check it out. Oh, this one was kind of lost. It's a 3-disc special edition of Old Boy. Yeah, it's not like the 2 discs really matter because it's, yeah, the extras aren't that special, but it's cool to say that you have the 3-disc special edition, I guess. Decalogue, a mini series, I guess, by Krzysztof Kieslowski, who also did the 3 Colors trilogy. There are 10 short movies based on the 10 Commandments. I've only seen like the first 2 or 3 parts. I should pick it up again. Because they're pretty interesting, impressive, I guess. Another box set by Takeshi Miike. It's called, well, this here is called the Black Society Trilogy. I think it has some other names. Shinjuku Triad Society, Rainy Dog and Ley Lines. I have no idea if I pronounced the names correctly. Yeah, I guess they should give a good impression of Takeshi Miike's work, because he doesn't only make movies like Ichi the Killer and stuff like that. These are all pretty good. Yeah, prefer probably Shinjuku Triad Society. Like I've said a couple of times already, I'm a big fan of Edgar Wright and his actors Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. This is the first thing Edgar Wright did. It's a British series. It's only 2 seasons, but it's very low budget, but it's very funny. And when you look at Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the stuff he did, the flashy, the editing and stuff, it's already in here. You can already see the stuff he's trying. But that's much more. On a big scale. Here he did it on a low budget level, and it's a pretty entertaining comedy sitcom. So this is some nice cigar case special edition books for Scarface on Blu-ray. It got some extras in it. Yeah, it's just more and it got some others like the green card and blah 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 stuff in it. I'm not going to show you that, but yeah, I love the movie and love this release. And most of the last boxes that I will show you now, maybe you've seen in the cool box sets I own video. The Blind Dead collection, Spanish horror movies. I love the, yeah, it's of course you make horror movies, you make a coffin. It's easy, but still it's pretty cool. Sort of, well, maybe not the best of, but well, this is what we got. Box Hammer Horror Productions. There are 21 movies in it, and it gives you a great impression of what Hammer did between the 50s, late 50s and early 70s. June, love this one. Phantasm, love the box. It's the 4 movies and special extra disc with specials on it. Man, this is just cool, you know? Like I mentioned earlier, I got this cool Fly collection. It's got the original 3, the remake and the sequel to the remake. I'm not going to unpack this now because then the video will take even 1 extra hour more. You can check it out in the cool box sets that I own video, because it looks cool. It's actually a pretty crappy box. Also mentioned earlier the complete Cone collection up till True Grit, that wasn't released then, or just about to be released. But it does have all movies up till True Grit, and yeah, it's a box and got some great. Well, yeah, fuck that shit. It's nice, man. And finally, to cover 50 movies in a few seconds, it's the 50 years of Janus. Oh man, I don't know how to pronounce half of the names in this video. It's like a best of the movies they released or distributed. It's all world cinema art house, the likes of Fellini and Bergman and Kurosawa and stuff like that. I have not seen all of these. It's 50 movies inside, but I've seen a few of them, and yeah, it's if you want to get into world cinema, world art cinema, this is, if you have a lot of money, a great place to start. And with that, I've come to the end. You still enjoying the Banjo-Kazooie theme song in the background? Because I am. And well, I hope you've enjoyed it, and comment, react, do whatever you want. but I hope you've enjoyed watching this collection, and perhaps when I buy some new ones I can now, because I really covered everything that I own, and now I can, with updates, I can include if I got some new stuff. If anybody is interested, at least. Okay, that's that, and I'll be back soon with a normal review, and I hope that's going to be a lot of fun. So check you guys later.